All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Let's Face Off. I'm Brad, and those two right over there are Calder and Jim. Hi, guys. So as you can see, we actually entered the world of live streaming for our podcast. This is
new to us.
And obviously unscripted.
Yeah.
No, I still had the sound on the actual YouTube feed, so it was overplaying in my ears. So as you could see, this is our first episode, so everything that's going to go wrong is Calder's fault. We're just going to say that right now.
Just so everyone knows, I'm Calder. That's Jim.
Calder. That's Calder. Jim. So we're still going to upload our episodes to all the podcast apps like we do before. But now anyone who wants to, we can actually head over to YouTube and see our ugly faces each episode as well. So when you're there, make sure you do. What was that, Calder?
I don't know. We're talking about ugly faces.
Yeah, it's the truth.
Fair enough.
While you're over there, make sure you do hit subscribe and that little bell next to it, so you can get notified anytime we do have a new episode or any other content we might actually add. For example, this Saturday, we're going to do another live stream for a drawing giveaway for a Sidney Crosby jersey. And we actually have boo to Sidney Crosby.
I mean,
yay for the giveaway.
Yay for the giveaway. We actually have almost 400 entries for it already. But there is still time to enter. So if you haven't done so, go find us on Twitter at Let's Face Off. And you can check on their pinned tweet. It's going to be the first one on our profile where you can get the directions on how to enter. Also, if you notice, if on our YouTube channel, we have uploaded that Randy Hahn interview that we did back in July. It was a great interview. So if you haven't done so, please go ahead and check that out. I've done a lot of talking. Jim Calder, is there anything else you wanted to say?
You can keep talking right now because of the fact that there's not much news in the NHL. Let's put it that way. So keep taking up a little bit more time.
Yeah, we got junior rookie camp starting. Juniors, they're all juniors still. Actually, one last thing before we get into the news, we are still looking for individuals who might want to join a fantasy hockey league with us. Just if you want to join, you can send us a comment below or on Twitter, or you can actually just send us a message through our website at faceoffwin.com. So, Calder, where are we starting today?
Let's start off with a little bit of news that we had. You brought up the rookie tournament. Why don't we jump right into that? Are you guys excited for hockey starting up? We got hockey starting up tomorrow for our teams, at least. And I know in a lot of other teams around the league are finally bringing their rookie teams to play. Are you guys excited? I'm excited. I wish I could watch it. I know, but I wanted to know, you guys are excited about it. I know it's rookie players, and we're not really going to see them, or we might see some in the NHL coming this year.
I think we're going to see an entire team of them in Phoenix.
Yeah, that's true. But that's okay.
Still excited. The rookie camp is always kind of a mixed bag. And then, of course, there's the rookie tournament or mini camp or whatever you want to really call it. It's not a true tournament. It starts to separate some of those players that have been drafted that have the ability to reach the NHL, and really gives clubs the idea whether or not these guys are going to end up being a NHL caliber talent, or if they're going to end up as an AHL permanent addition to a roster somewhere, or maybe OHL or ECHL or one of the other blank HLs. So it's always fun to see. A lot of these guys won't even make an impact probably for 2 to 3 more years. A few of them are probably still even playing college hockey, and should, for that matter. Hopefully they can all have a good collegiate career and stay injury free. But anytime there's hockey coming, it's exciting. I won't be able to probably get to see any of it, but we'll catch highlights and stuff from the reporting. So I don't know. What do you think, Brad?
Yeah, anytime there's hockey, I'm excited. The one thing I will say with the Coyotes that I was a little surprised is when they released the roster for the rookies, the rookie tournament, Josh Stone was not on that, which slightly surprising. I mean, some of the other rookies that were drafted this year are on that roster, like Dylan Gunther, Liam Kim, Ty Emberson. They're all on it, and they were all drafted this year. But for some reason, Josh Stone was left off. So that was slightly surprising for me. And I'm not sure if that is just a behind the scenes issue, maybe a minor injury that they don't want to announce. Or maybe it was something with ASU didn't want him to partake in that because he's still going to go back. Like you indicated there, he still has ASU hockey to play. So maybe they said, no, I don't know if they have the ability to do that. Like, can a college tell an NHL team no?
If he has a scholarship,
Well, they've done it with
can.
the stadium.
Yeah.
True.
I'm excited to see what the Sharks rookies are going to bring. There's a few players that I feel like could make the jump in the NHL right away. I'm hoping Eklund will make it up there. There's a few others. There's the centerman. I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but he's supposed to be NHL ready as well. And Weissblatt is supposed to be ready. And Merkley, I'd love to see what he's capable of when he actually has a team playing with him. I don't think he's been able to play too much with a good team as of late. But I'm thinking that this new rookie squad that they're coming in is going to be a real look into our future of the Sharks. I feel like that's what's really going to be what we need to see. I want to talk about something real quick, Brad. There was rumors, or not rumors. You sent me a text the other day showing that you went and got a Seattle Kraken jersey.
That was yesterday.
It was yesterday. Okay.
Yeah, it was kind of neat. So originally I had got an email a week ago to get my jersey early because I'm part of the depths is what they're calling it. It's like a season ticket wait list type thing. And I wasn't able to actually purchase it then. So when they announced that they're actually going to be selling them at the store, I went down there and I was partially surprised at how many people were there, but I'm glad at the same time that there was that many people there because it just shows like how excited the fan base is up here. And then also John Forsland was standing next to the line I was in line for about an hour and he was there the whole time. Even when I went in and picked up my jersey, purchased it, I was in a line for about another half hour just in that line. And he was still there the whole time. So that was kind of neat to see that a lot of people were there to support the team to get their jerseys. And it's just exciting for me. I was able to get my jersey, take a picture of my jersey with John Forsland.
Was there anyone else there? Any other players or anybody like that?
I know JT was there. The color announcer, JT Brown. I didn't get a chance to actually see him though, so I don't know where he was at or if he was there before or after I had left. But I know that he was there. Other than that, I don't know if any of the other players. I will say that the majority of the jerseys I was seeing, the customized jerseys, had Grubauer on them, which it was not even close. It was probably like a 4-1 type of deal on Grubauer compared to everyone else. So I shouldn't say surprised to see that, but it was kind of actually, yes, I'm slightly surprised that I didn't see a mix of more players. It was mainly all Grubauer.
Is there any other players you expected maybe to see more jerseys of? I mean, when you told me that, I was thinking Everlay would definitely be a big.
Yeah,
I
mean, players that have signed long term, like Alexiak is going to be a Kraken for a while, unless for some reason they give him a trade or trade him. So, that's a player that's going to be around for a while. Eberle, absolutely. It's surprising that I didn't see more jerseys for him. But Giordano. I didn't see a single Giordano, and
That's pretty big to me.
It's
he
kind of surprising.
obviously he's probably the front runner for captain. However, is he going to want it? You know what I mean? Like, because he seems, everything that we've read or seen is he didn't want to leave Calgary, obviously, and he might have actually been disappointed to leave Calgary. Do you guys have any thoughts on that? Like, who is the next captain of the Kraken going to be? I shouldn't say next. Who's the first captain of the Kraken going to be?
The first captain? Oof. I would say it has to go to Giordano. I don't know if he's going to want it. I mean, he was the captain of the Flame for so long, but there's nobody else that really has that leadership role that they've really set. I mean, maybe perhaps, I don't know, the locker room itself. Never been in the locker room myself, but that's the only one that really has shown any kind of leadership and has taken any kind of leadership in any other team. I mean, Eberle has been an alternate, but he's never been an actual captain. So
yeah,
Larson, it's kind of a clear.
Larson was an alt up in Edmonton for what, 4 years, I think, 3 or 4 years. So
yeah,
I sort of wonder with Giordano, like we all sort of are guessing whether or not he wants it. I think it might depend, like how much longer is the contract that he has? Is it more than 2 seasons, or do we think he's going to be like 1, 2 and done? He was already kind of key on retiring in Calgary, and he's been doing it long enough that he's not far away from retirement age. So perhaps, perhaps he's not interested in trying to take that leadership role when he's also looking at his final few years.
Yeah, that's true. Like I said, it's one of those issues that if they offer it to him, does he turn it down or does he say, yeah? That's the only thing. And what if they trade him? Because it just doesn't seem like he wants to be there. And actually, Andy Cap 84 sent us a message, says, hopefully the rookies will shine. Absolutely. I think rookies are the lifeblood of any team. That is definitely the case for obviously the Arizona Coyotes, because they're going to be bad. And the rookies are going to need to take that team in a couple of years.
They're going to be real bad. Real bad.
But it's going to be a great place for young talent to showcase itself.
See, the slight issue I have with that is the Coyotes have, especially under Don Maloney, rushed their young talent too quickly to get up into the NHL. And I mean, I think, I hope that that's not the case again. I hope he does not do that. I mean, like Kyle Turris is a prime example. Kyle Turris should not have been up in the league as early as he was. And I think that actually affected the rest of his career. He was a great junior player, and he just did not develop into the player that everyone thought he would be. And I think that's because he didn't get the chance to actually develop in the AHL.
I have to say, I think the Sharks do the exact opposite. I think they leave their players too long in the AHL. They don't give the chances in the NHL per se. And that's been a detriment to the Sharks themselves. And then they trade off their top talent. You look at Josh Norris over in Ottawa, who's now predicted to be one of their top players.
Yep. Imagine if we'd gotten Barclay Goodrow up a few years earlier and gotten to keep him because we knew what we had instead of letting him sit. The Sharks also did have an issue where they were far too top heavy and forward heavy with legacy guys that, big names, good team guys, but weren't producing, that held on, to their spots maybe longer than they needed to. And for good reason. They were a very competitive team for, 28, 27 of the last 30 years. So, they've done well. But again, I think I agree that specifically under one of the more recent coaching staffs, specifically Pete DeBoer, they were not keen on bringing up the young talent to get involved nearly early enough.
I don't really have much on any other camp. I mean, I probably should have done a little more research on the rookie camps, but pretty much the Coyotes were the only one that I was following. Pretty soon I'll be a Kraken fan, but I don't
That's all
really
right.
know
For
any other
anyone
juniors.
who is looking, there is available on NHL.com through the Arizona page on there. You can get the broadcast and streaming schedule for the rookie games, and they are apparently free to watch, and the links will become live once the games begin. So the streaming and the games will be available through the NHL.com or NHL app, I'm assuming, probably, depending on what team it is. So it said the games will be available in local markets. So if you're not in Los Angeles, Colorado, San Jose, Anaheim, Vegas, Arizona, you're probably not watching.
I will go back a long time ago when I was a season ticket holder in Arizona. I remember that first rookie camp I went to, and it was fun because you got to actually, like, I remember Derek Morris was actually sitting in the stands watching them, and it was kind of neat to see veterans literally almost rooting on those rookies to playing in those games. So I kind of wish, and actually I got an email, and maybe I'll take them up on it, but the Depths is actually offering 2 tickets to go watch one of the rookie games. So I might actually take them up on that offer because I'm ready for some live hockey for sure. Last game was January. You and I went up to Vancouver. That's actually 2 years ago. Been a while.
Yeah. Yep. It's been a long time since any travel's been happening, but it was a good time. That's for sure. Bringing up jerseys from a few topics ago, I just wanted to bring up the poll that was placed on Twitter. I think Brad saw it. I know Jim saw it.
Yep.
But the Kachina jersey was voted number 1 jersey in all of the league. And I want to know what Brad's take is on it.
I thought it was voted number 2. Oh no,
No,
that
it
was
was
the
number
logo.
1.
That was the logo.
Yeah, the alternate
Oh.
jersey was actually voted number 1. I'm the minority in this situation because I cannot stand that logo. And it's
a great logo.
It's literally a gut punch for me because I hate it so bad. And then I see those rankings and it's like, I'm literally in almost 20% of the people who hate that logo. So it's literally 80% like it. And I'm in the wrong side of that. So there's
why do you hate it so
it.
much? Why do you hate it so much is what I want to know.
I don't know. It just looks cartoonish to me. And I know that's what they wanted to convey in that logo, was not to mention the heritage of Arizona, but I just don't like it. I don't like it.
Well, luckily you can root for the Kraken now and not worry about it. Just wait till their alternate jerseys like an 8-bit character of an octopus. Sorry, a squid.
It'll be better than that garbage that Minnesota's putting up for the Winter Classic.
Well, we talked about that. We talked about that last week. That was
But
bad.
we didn't talk about the team that unveiled it on Sunday or on Friday. Friday.
On Friday, right after we aired our podcast.
So we did mention that we were going to add that to tonight. And since we're talking about it, what do you guys think?
I think they took the easy road. There's literally nothing exciting about that jersey at all.
People are raving about it, and I'm not sure why. Maybe I'm just missing the point of it. To me, it looks like a dirty jersey. It looks like a jersey that hasn't been washed in a season's worth of playing, and they're deciding to wear it. And I get the it's going back to how it looked back in the day, but it just doesn't look nice when it's not clean. That cream color looks dirty on a hockey jersey.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I also understand why people would be excited for it. It it pays homage to their original jersey, of which they didn't have an alternating style. They literally had that jersey. That was it. So when they launched, there wasn't another color, which is strange to think, but that is one of the things that I think people were kind of excited about. It also, we've seen Minnesota's, we've seen a number of the different sweaters over the years. And for some reason, it seems like so many of the teams get this so wrong when they go to design it. I can't actually count the number that I feel like have gotten it right. So when you go to play a Winter Classic or a Heritage type game, throwing it back to an original jersey totally works for me. I like that they kept it simple. They didn't overthink it. They made it something that true fans from the beginning can recognize, and something that new fans can appreciate the heritage behind it. Is it exciting? No. Does it do the job? Totally. Does it win over Minnesota's? 100%. So, they're already 1 point ahead going into the game.
This is true. I want to actually get Brad's take on Minnesota's jersey since you brought it up. What do you think they did wrong? What did you like, Jim? When Jim saw the actual jersey himself, he thought it was okay. But when he saw the actual full attire with the brown pants and the brown gloves, it just looks like a mess.
Well, when it was first announced, I like the fact that they kind of totally went off. That it was a very, what's the word I'm looking for? It was a risk. They took a huge risk with that jersey. So when it first came out, I actually liked it. And then as I kind of kept looking at it, I believe, Jim, you said it, like, why didn't they actually spell out Minnesota or Minneapolis? Like, why didn't they? They could have fit it in there and they didn't. So on one hand, I like that they took a risk because, Jim, you're saying you kind of like when they were taking it. I shouldn't say taking it easy, but kind of throwing it back and making it simple. But I think they missed the mark on this with that risk that they took, and I don't like it.
But if they're
honestly, the brown pads don't bother me. I think it doesn't bother.
You're
me.
one of the 20% that hates the
that's true.
jersey.
That is true. My opinion doesn't mean anything.
Listen to you on jersey stats, but and I get what you're saying. The brown pads don't offend you, but they're just ugly. And if you want to do leather, like, throw it back to actually make them wear leather. It's in a way like 50 pounds heavier than the new equipment, but it would be fun to see them actually playing in leather pads and gloves, and keep the normal helmets, because we all know brain injuries are real now. But everything else could be a throwback to the way it used to be. You'd actually have to wear a thick sweater because all the gear underneath was just not very good at shock absorbency.
So I was just thinking about this myself with your take of just make it easy, bring it back to the original stuff. Why didn't they bring back the Minnesota North Star jersey? Is that too easy?
I think that would have won right there. That is a winning jersey. It would be a fun throwback. There's no reason not to go back to it, except that I guess there's maybe some people that don't love the Minnesota North Stars portion of their history.
Since we're talking about equipment, have you seen some of the goalie pads that have come out? There's a couple of pictures on goalie pads, like Drury.
I've been looking at some of the. Well, I saw Draggers from the Kraken.
Did I say Drury? I meant Drager.
But I'm talking about some of the helmets have looked pretty nice coming out of some of the new helmets come from goalies coming to new teams. It's been kind of
one thing that
fresh air.
That I don't know. Like Fleury's took a picture of him in his new pads.
Mm-hmm.
For some reason, he kept the gold color. I
saw that.
I was slightly surprised to see that because he has the Blackhawks accent colors on the sides, but the dominant color on his gear, his goalie pads, is gold. And that, at first I thought he was still wearing the Golden Knights pads, and then I re-looked at them and they're brand new and they have the Blackhawks accents on them.
But
I
did you see the
wonder-
helmet? Because I couldn't see the helmet in that picture. Did it?
I didn't
Was it
see it.
actually his Vegas? It looked like his Vegas helmet still. I don't know if he had gotten a new helmet yet.
He
Maybe
may be
he's-
waiting to unveil that for the season. A number of goalies are a little bit superstitious about that sort of thing, or there's, some gamesmanship involved in that. But my guess would be he's just waiting to unveil the new helmet for the new season. Or he's going to do an all gold motif to just rub it in Vegas's head that like they let him go and now he's going to beat them with a team that probably shouldn't beat them. Okay, he's not, but he's going to make it harder. And I fully support anytime, like if someone gets burned like he did after putting up, what is arguably one of his best seasons ever, and then gets dumped like that, I feel like the players got a little bit of a right to throw some shade back.
That's fair. Let's talk about some TNT roster news, or the broadcast news. I know it's not too exciting, but there's a few big names in that. What do you guys think about some of the additions that have been announced for TNT's hockey analyst or broadcast? We got Paul Bissonnette, we got Rick Tocchet, Darren Pang, Keith Jones, and Anson Carter. I think it's pretty good.
Yeah, I think it's a great lineup. They're throwing a lot of different perspective talent. You got a quote unquote enforcer in Paul Bissonnette. You got Darren Pang, a goalie, Rick Tocchet, a coach. So I like it. I like how they're kind of spreading the talent around. It remains to be seen how they're going to work together. We know Anson Carter and Keith Jones are going to work fine together. Those two are already working together. But as far as the mixing of, Rick Tocchet and Paul Bissonnette into the lineup, how is that going to go? It remains to be seen for sure.
This sort of reminds me of the same mix that was used for NBC. You get a couple of different position players and then someone who knows the game from the coaching side, and they may not all be in studio on any given night. So, you might get Paul and Darren and Keith and Anson, around a table, and maybe Rick gets the night off. So or we've even seen it where you have the back-to-back games, and so they're going to split the broadcast between a couple people for each one, so no one's working a super long day. So I think these choices are great. Keith Jones, Anson Carter, solid. We know the quality of work that they bring. I feel like questionable on the other ones, what they bring to a broadcast. Until you do broadcasting, you really have no idea if they're going to have the charisma and the type of on-screen presence that's needed. I would imagine that they've obviously screen tested them, or at least had, some mock run-throughs of a broadcast before they brought them on board. So it's likely to see that they're going to work out great. And being a first run at this, TNT's first run at this for hockey, mind you, they should know how to do this. They've done basketball and baseball and a number of other sports. So they should have the sporting thing down. But ESPN showed us, hold my beer. So I'm going to say that, it's a good group of people. I'd like to see a few more names. I'd like to get a little more variety personally, if this is the core, and then they've got, specific guests that they go to, common, sort of reoccurring folks that show up on the shows. I think that would be even better to get just a wider variety. But of course, they are not necessarily the main broadcast where, ESPN's the main carrier. TNT is going to carry games that ESPN doesn't. So
Well, they do have what I'll go right back to your on-screen talent. So Darren Pang was the color analyst or the color TV announcer for the Coyotes for a number of years, and he's actually for the St. Louis Blues as well. Paul Bissonnette, where he has some TV presence. I mean, he has one of the biggest podcasts out there right now. He's also the radio color announcer for the Coyotes right now, and he's actually going to dual role that. So when you were talking about busy days for people, I'm guessing he's going to only be like on potentially off days for the Coyotes, since he'll have his main job. You know, some of the other talent you're talking about, TNT's bringing Liam Mchugh, who has been announcing hockey for a long. Well, he does more than hockey, but obviously we had that information about Wayne Gretzky.
Yep.
So Eddie Olczyk's going to be there as well. So
All right. Yeah. It sounds like they're actually, yeah, I'd forgotten that TNT had been announced in that group. Because I was so focused on the ESPN news when that was coming out. So yeah, no, that sounds like a good group of folks to round it out. And you know, they'll learn a lot first season and see what works. And by second season, we'll really have this nailed.
Hopefully.
Can't wait for the second season. Let's talk about a little bit more Sharks news.
Yeah.
Evander Kane had his interview today. I know you guys didn't really watch the ESPN interview itself. I watched it. I watched the highlights of it. I couldn't be bothered to actually watch the whole thing, honestly.
Cliff notes.
Yeah, exactly. I think the main thing you can take out of watching that interview would have to be the things that he didn't say. And Kevin Kerr has put it perfectly in the fact that he never put it like, you know, this is all behind me now. Let's get this going, guys. He never talked to his team. He never talked about the fact he actually said he felt like he was a scapegoat for the team being bad the past few years. And that's not what the team was saying. They just said that he was a bad influence inside the locker room. And to me, that's even worse than what he did, than trying to say, you know what, I didn't do it. I didn't do it. I didn't do it. Instead of being like, I didn't do it. And guys in the locker room with me, I need you to believe me. And this is behind me. All I want to do is win. And he never brought up his own teammates. He just brought up the fact that he didn't do it. And he felt like he was a scapegoat for the team being playing poorly the past few seasons.
Well, you said it already. I didn't watch it because I honestly am tired of hearing and seeing Evander Kane. You know, his comment about being the scapegoat, he is. He keeps putting himself. This isn't the first time like he's been in the news with this situation. He keeps putting himself in positions that are negatively affecting him and the teammates around him. So I'm not sure what he was expecting to happen in this situation. Liars are gonna lie. He could say all he wants that he didn't do it. I mean, the NHL could technically exonerate him, sure. But even if they do, I think he's done. I think we've said it multiple times. I think he's done as a Shark. What that means for them and having to try and make a trade with another team that would accept him, I don't know. I think the bridge has been burned regardless. I mean, I saw that quote that Kevin said today as well about, he never mentioned his teammates. I think that's a trying statement that it's about him. It's not about his team. It's not about his teammates. It's not about the fans. It's about him. And honestly, I'm kind of tired of talking about him.
That's what the interview was all about, was about him. And it was
and that's kind of what I was going to say. I haven't seen the interview yet. I haven't watched the highlights. I did not read the Cliff Notes. I didn't even cheat off someone who did. So, yeah. So maybe I have, but this kind of throws it back to a media conversation I think Calder and I had last week, which was sometimes the media leaves things out to make a story conveniently more enthralling or suspense-filled. It actually was a story that Kevin Kurz had written that we were specifically talking about. The ESPN interview, from what I understand, was about Evander Kane. It was ESPN interviewing Evander Kane. It makes sense that if the questions were directed to Evander Kane, he would talk from his own point of view. You don't necessarily want to put words in your teammates' mouths or talk about them, especially when you've been, how to put it nicely, singled out by the media on behalf of other players. So I think this could be somewhere between a media twist on a story that isn't really a story, it's an interview. Or there could be more to it. But until I actually watch the interview, I'm not going to pass judgment on this specific section. I've made my views on where I think the team and Evander are perfectly clear up until this point. And I don't think that that's going to change. I do think he does get targeted more often than other players because he doesn't fit the traditional hockey player mold. He is not the quiet, humble Canadian that's all about the boys and just wants to go back to a Saskatchewan farm in the summer and hang out with family. He wants to have the persona of a rock star professional athlete, and he has put himself in the spotlight to do so. While very few others in the sport would even attempt that type of publicity. And it's backfired on him because hockey fans are not the types of fans that are the same rabid NFL fans that, you know, you want to go see them riding around in sports cars and throwing stacks of cash off of the casino roofs or whatever. Like, you know, chucking trophies from boat to boat, Tom Brady. Like, it's normal for the NFL. It's normal for the NBA. It's even normal to some degree for baseball to see those ball-in players that, you know, they show up, they have walk-up songs. They are, I know, ball-in, right? Great pun. I hate everyone. But, you know, they have a persona because the sport and the fan base has created the persona as an acceptable outreach of the player's character or the player, how they want to be perceived. Hockey hasn't gotten there yet. Hockey hasn't allowed for a superstar to be a superstar because it always has to be the team. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. In professional sports, being about the team is incredibly great for the team. But we have not caught up to hockey. When I say we, hockey has not caught up to where other sports are to accept players' roles in the entertainment world equally to where they are in the sporting world.
Well, that's why I like hockey. I can't stand the showboating that happens in those other sports. Like there's you mentioned NFL. There's so many times where a player will make a tackle after the guy had gained 6 yards or something already, and he gets up like he's a strong man for making the tackle. It's like the guy just gained 6 yards. That's not something to be proud about. And I that's why I like. It's one of the reasons why I love hockey is the fact that these players, they score a goal, they celebrate for a few moments, usually with their team, then they go high five the bench, and then they get ready to drop the puck again. Occasionally there's the extreme cheer for 2 seconds, whatever it is. But even that's not extreme as some of the players. I mean, NFL, again, we'll go right back. Some of those players get fined because they go above and beyond when they're celebrations. Like, was it he pulled the Sharpie or whatever out
Terrell
of
Owens.
Owens, yeah, pulled the Sharpie out of there and got fined.
And you're throwing it back and showing your age.
I know. We've already established we're old. I'm old.
Yeah.
You're old.
Okay.
I mean,
Called her.
whatever.
I'm
We're
only
all
like
getting there.
I'm like 9 days older than you, so shut up.
Exactly. You're old.
Whatever. I'm just watching my future here.
Exactly.
But, you know, I'm not passing judgment on whether or not that's the right way for the sport to go. I'm just saying, compared to the market for the fans, hockey is behind the times. The fan base that currently watches hockey and the one in its traditional past loves that fact. They want the guys to be humble and hardworking blue collar guys, even though they're making 6-7 million a year. And it's tough to find your place as a professional athlete. I would assume, because I am not one, in that world, especially if, you know, your probably close friends are going to be players from other leagues and also from the same league, but you know, you're going to get that cross pollination, and you're going to want, you know, you're going to want the same treatment that the other guys get. You want to walk in and everybody go, "Oh my God, it's Joe Montana." Yeah, showing my age. Or, "Oh my God, it's Tom Brady." Still showing my age because I remember when he started. So like, one of those guys draws attention. And that, I think, is what the lifestyle some of these younger guys are looking for. And when they can't achieve it through standard sports, they're going to find it in other ways. And right now, it's unfortunately a media circus.
I got nothing else to say about it. I'm kind of sick and tired of it. I just wanted to know what you guys thought about the actual interview and
Didn't
what was
watch
left
it.
out, as we know. One small last little note of news in the slow week that we've had. NHL came out saying that our vaccinations, the NHL vaccinations have reached a 98% of the players have been vaccinated, which is amazing to me. And I'm fully backing the NHL. Bill Daly came out saying our latest information really suggests 10 players or less will not be fully vaccinated by opening day for the regular season. And go NHL. I know we've talked about this at length. I just wanted to say that I'm happy that things are going.
It really helps that they're going to hit him in the pocketbook. You know, if they get, we talked about it earlier, if they have to go out for getting sick with COVID or something like that, it's technically going to be viewed as a suspension without pay. And they actually came out and said that today, that per the rules, if you are out from COVID, it's going to be viewed as a suspension without pay. So these guys are going to get hit if they happen to get sick. I mean, those 10 players might not get sick. It might not be an issue, but if it is, they're going to lose quite a bit of money. And that's what it took to get them vaccinated.
Well, it also helps that the vast majority of your players come from a socialized medicine country and have access to healthcare whenever they need it, whether or not they are currently in said country. So, you know, they're used to vaccines, they're used to science, and
we are all, you know what I mean? That's what it's bothering me so bad. We've
we are
all
not,
been used
though.
to.
I think that's
we are.
No,
Oh,
the proof
absolutely
the proof is 100% in the rates within the United States that shows, as a people, we are not smart enough to be familiar with science, and we are not smart enough to understand what is for the greater good. So I'm not going to go any further because I know what kind of political madness this will start. But I will say that I think when your vast majority of your players are accepting of the norms of things like socialized medicine, science, and this being a requirement to be a functioning part of society, it's a little easier. Now, the rest of the players are probably considering the pocketbook, but also considering that they just want to play. And geez, I'd rather play and say that I got, have proof I got vaccinated, so that if I do get it and do have to go out, it's not a suspension. It's just like bad luck.
I mean, we've seen many assistant coaches, or at least 2 assistant coaches so far, step down. We saw Rocky Thompson from the Sharks, and we also saw, I can't remember the name, but it was an assistant coach over in Columbus who was pretty much fired for the fact that he wasn't going to get vaccinated by the owner of the Columbus Blue Jackets, because he said, you're supposed to be a coach, and if you cannot be around our players because you are not vaccinated, therefore you cannot coach, then therefore you are fired. Yep. So
And it would
I think
also
it's good.
be troublesome for a lot of those coaching staffs because there are, at least in California and New York, for large capacity stadiums, there's a vaccine mandate now. And the NBA is facing this issue where they did not state and have not mandated vaccines for their players. However, because of where certain clubs play, they will be required for those clubs and anyone who plays in that building. So if you want to play all your games, you may have to just go do it.
Well, let's get off that political
Yeah.
topic because that's a rabbit hole that we don't need to go down.
Yeah.
And we've already gone down like 10 times.
Many times. I just wanted to bring it up saying that the NHL is doing the steps and I think the right steps to conquer this disease by making it mandated. Anything else, guys? You guys have anything else you want to talk about? I know it's been a really slow news week. I just wanted to see if you guys have anything else.
One note on Sharks news. I'm excited. I don't know if, not sure if I'm going to get to go, but working towards trying to get to the skills competition that they're going to put on for the team coming up in October.
That's right.
It's sort of a preseason preview and an internal skills competition, which I think could be a really fun event for fans, especially because they are limiting capacity to some degree and also selling tickets at reasonable prices.
Do you know what the skills are going to be?
I do not. I was hoping to try to find that, but I didn't find it before we started. So I'd imagine it's going to be very similar to the NHL All-Star skills competition, but you may see some other stuff thrown in there that you wouldn't expect. Maybe talent show style, knowing the way the Sharks used to be with some of their crazy antics on and off the ice. I'm thinking like Joe Thornton as ventriloquist doll, even though he'll be in Florida.
He could be doing it from Florida with Joe Thornton doll, right?
Yeah. That
was
Zoom
it Slappy?
ventriloquism.
Slappy could be at the tank, and Joe could be doing it via Zoom from Florida, right?
I don't think that's how ventriloquism works, but
sure it is.
Good try. So excited about that, and excited to see a team. And I don't know if the other teams are doing something similar, but excited to see a team put something together that's new to engage with fans in a way that's a little more intimate than just drawing them in to watch a practice or a scrimmage.
Yeah, that sounds like it's something that's needed to be.
When is that?
Shown.
You said in October?
It's October 15th.
Oh,
something 15th, like
okay.
that.
So right before season actually starts, huh?
October 10th.
It's like right before. Yeah, October 10th.
Kind of sounds like it might be NHL All-Star type of skills competition. Hardest shot, shootout, fastest skater, stuff like that. That'd be neat to see. Yeah, I think that's probably it. Like you said, slow week. So we'll go ahead and wrap this up, I guess. Don't forget to, if you haven't done so, go to our Twitter at Let's Face Off, enter that drawing for the Sidney Crosby jersey. You do have a little bit of time left. The drawing will be at 9 p.m. Eastern. So entries must be received by 9 p.m. Eastern. And then we're actually going to have the live drawing at 9:30. So it kind of give me about a half hour to get things wrapped up. Going to do the same style of old school drawing, similar to what we did with the Connor McDavid jersey. I'm going to get all the names printed out, which again is going to be about 400 entries, and going to put it in a little hat, or
you're going to have to find a big hat with
a
that
bowl or something, and then we're going to draw a name. So as of right now, I'll just kind of give numbers. We have 351 on Twitter that completed all three of those steps. Again, that was follow, retweet, and friend us. We have almost 500 likes and retweets and stuff like that, but some of those people didn't follow us. We have another 11 from YouTube, and unfortunately only one from Apple Podcasts. So I was hoping we'd get a little bit more there, but not the end of the world. So
just
again,
more proof that if you don't follow the rules, you can't win.
Exactly. Follow the rules.
Says who?
Again,
Brad.
what
Gotcha.
am I doing? My rules.
You're the one
that
that says
way.
follow your rules.
Yeah, it's your rules.
It's my rules. So again, go to Twitter. Let's face off and enter that drawing. We got 2 more days. We'll do the drawing live once again on Saturday. You'll both be here, right? I
Yep.
think I confirmed you're
I'll
both
be
I think
here.
I said so.
going to both be available, so you get to see. I'll say it again: our ugly faces.
Your ugly face. My beautiful
true.
face. We'll
It's
put it
true.
that way.
I've
Oh,
got
and a cat.
And the cat's going to do the drawing.
Yeah.
No, she will not do the drawing. She will pick all the losers by cutting up the pieces.
So Calder.
I'll do the drawing.
No, I mean you're the loser.
Oh, okay.
Jesus.
Fine. Fair.
All right, so that's going to do it. Thank you again, anyone who's going to listen to this on YouTube, as well as any of the podcast apps that you might use. We will see you on Saturday, and go hockey.
Go
Oh, Jesus.
hockey.
That was way too long, Calder.